The Traitors is a reality TV show based on the party game Mafia, or Werewolves, whereby the 22 faithful contestants have to complete challenges to win a prize pool of up to £150,000. However, hidden amongst them is the Traitors, and so the team have to vote out all of them or else they will take the money for themselves. If I had to describe the Traitors UK in one word, it is captivating. Why is arguably one of the best things to come out from the BBC for the past decade trash TV? Is this what years of budget cuts does to a motherfucker? The Traitors has the right amount of tension, creative challenges which are a joy to watch, and hosted perfectly by Claudia Winkleman, who really emphasises what's at stake, so much so that you have good reason to root for the faithful. Although the faithful will give you plenty of reasons to not root for them, but we'll talk about that in a second. The first season of the UK Traitors was a hit, so much so that this year there's a second season, which is what we will be talking about. However, let's be honest, this is trash TV. So if I were to review this like a normal movie or a TV show, it would kind of be like a food critic judging a Cornish pasty made at Greg's. So I'm just gonna have some fun and let's wing it. Now, for those of you who haven't watched this show, here's how it works. In the first episode, Claudia picks 3 of the possible 22 contestants to be traitors within the group. The remaining are known as the faithful. It is up to the traitors to remain undetected from the rest of the group, and to avoid being banished. The traitors meet with each other every night to pick someone to kill, and that person is eliminated before the next morning. Then at breakfast, the faithful realise someone is missing and start their speculations. After breakfast, the contestants work as a group to bank as much money as possible during the team challenge. After the challenge, they head back to the castle and meet around the round table to vote someone to banish. Someone the group believes is a traitor. After this person is voted out, their identity is revealed to either be a faithful or a traitor. Rinse and repeat for the next episode where the traitors send home another contestant. It's a simple structure, but it works like a charm and leaves plenty of room for Claudia Winkleman to throw any twists and turns. It's worth noting that in the first season, Claudia asked them to line up in order of who's most likely to win and least likely to win. The 2 who were least likely to win got kicked off the game. So Claudia, being Claudia, did the exact same thing, but it was a red herring because of course it was. We're introduced to a group of 22 diverse individuals who are each sucking their own dick being like, yeah, I would love to be a traitor. I'm so sneaky and smart. I'm gonna suss out everything. Only to realize that they were not built for this. We are introduced to the 3 traitors being Paul, Harry, and Ash. But wait, there's the first wildcard of the season. Claudia wants the 3 traitors to recruit a 4th traitor, and that 4th person has to accept no matter what. But before that, we have a challenge, and may I just say that these challenges, in theory, are so convoluted and look like they have so many rules, but in practice, they make complete and utter sense, and it is a joy to watch. Between the big 4 moments, breakfast, challenge, roundtable, traitors meeting, there's like a little interlude period where the group can discuss who they think is a traitor. And I know I might have stirred up some controversy already for my reaction to the diverse characters. You can't deny though, however, that they cherry pick the most emotionally explosive people to give stupid reasons for why another person may be a traitor. Like, quoting people and stuff they never said. Because they look nervous. They're trying too hard to spot a traitor. They're not looking in the right areas. Like, guys, am I lying to you? Is my body language telling you that I'm lying about this show? Because I've got my notes on screen, I'm just winging what they actually mean. It is now discovered that Miles is the 4th traitor. And the show will do this a lot, right? They will pan the camera in a way to make the traitors look as bait as possible, despite the fact that we, the audience, we don't know what's happening with these people 24/7. What we do know is who the traitors are, who the faithful are, their occupation, and their age. So we can understand their generic motivations for wanting to win this show. I think this season actually took a bit of inspiration from the Aussie version, in which they were hiring people that were somewhat qualified to read people. Like, for example, there's a mind reader. Her reasons for why someone's a traitor are vague as hell. Yes, absolutely. But it's just a nice touch, which, you know, it's attention to detail at the end of the day. We also learn a few things about each of the contestants every episode or so. Like, last year, it was revealed that somebody joined this competition as a girlfriend-boyfriend so they can, you know, have moments together and maybe work as a team. This year lies one of the sickest reveals out of anything that I've ever seen, and I've watched Attack on Titan.
I can't believe that it was suggested that Paul was my son. I mean, he's about 3 times taller than me. He's got red hair. Paul just couldn't be my son. But Ross is.
Diane! Protect her at all costs. We're rooting for you, RD. Not only are we learning about our cast, but the contestants are also learning about each other. There was a challenge whereby each of the contestants were asked certain things about each of the other people. Who is the most irrelevant? Who is the most sheepish? Who is the most popular? And I can't remember the rest of them because, you know, not in my notes. Now, Paul won most popular, which made him public enemy number 1 to everyone on Twitter. A guy called Brian was the most sheepish, which definitely hurt his feelings and definitely aged like milk. Molly. The show also does a good job of using cliffhangers, right? So Brian, because he took the sheep joke so personally, was sussed out as being a potential traitor. But Ash was also tied on a vote as a potential traitor to be voted out. So that's when they hit him with the cliffhanger, and next episode we find out that Brian has been knocked out, which is fine. That's a good use of a cliffhanger, rather than like Demon Slayer, where they fucking just use a cliffhanger and nothing happens anyway. There's another twist in the Traitors, something called the Trial. What the Trial is you pick 4 contestants, either traitor or faithful, does not matter. You put them in jail, and at the end of the day, you have to pick one of those guys to kill. Our traitors pick 2 traitors and 2 faithful in there, and only one of the faithful is actually bait, right? Awful idea to put traitors in there, because this group of people, they overthink stuff that doesn't need to be overthought, and they brush over stuff that's completely obvious. They put Ash in there, Paul in there, a faithful who's kind of bait as a traitor, and somebody who, at this moment in time, nobody suspects is a traitor. This is very important to note. Paul is doing a very good job so far, but he chooses to stand trial because the aim is that he gets saved from trial, right? They vote off Ash, right? And then they kill off Andrew, who nobody suspects, right? The problem is they save Andrew, vote off Ash, and then the bait faithful is then killed in the night. I wonder why that's the case. Just want to point out episodes 6 and 7 because they were the best episodes so far. The challenge was a nighttime challenge, which means that there was no meeting with the traitors, right? They have to do their murder in plain sight by poisoning a faithful. They choose to poison RD, right? And then in episode 7, there's a funeral challenge, right? Where it is revealed that the poison actually is ongoing. It's not like you sip and you die. No. You sip the poison, you wait, the challenge is complete, and then RD bites the dust. Which is annoying because it susses out Miles, and Miles was doing such a good job as a traitor. Which is double funny because he then decides to go after Paul, and Harry, the little smart snake, turns to another contestant and is like, you think it's two traitors going head to head? Oh, it's so sick! It's so sick! It's so sick! After they vote off Miles, second plot twist of the season, we are told that the traitors have an option to recruit every night. And they decide to recruit none other than Andrew, who was the hench guy who was also in jail, which is the person that they saved during the challenge. Which is a weird recruitment, but it makes sense. But the thing is, right, A, he's actually a really honest person, so it's interesting to see how he'll adapt to his new traitor role. And B, he kind of sussed out that he was only recruited for scapegoating purposes. And at this point in the show, the entire nation united to see one of the best moments of television history.
I'm a traitor.
Bye-bye, Paul. But trust me, the drama don't end here, because on the very next episode, Ross gets recruited, who, if you remember correctly, is the son of Diane, who, unfortunately, Ross had to see get put in a coffin. Ooh, it's the start of Ross's villain arc. I wonder what will come out of it.
I am a traitor.
Oh dear. Actually, hold on, there's one double standard I want to talk about what I had in this episode.
And you've got also some women in there giving it a good amount. Girl power is an understatement.
Shut the fuck up, you scat.
Who are you going to seduce?
Ross.
Another man. Good. It's like the olden days.
Haha, Claudia, you're so funny. I just want to point out something. I hate Twitter for this exact moment. You got people who are like,
oh my god, BBC showing their bias again.
and you also got people like,
You go, Claudia girl, feminism is the best.
it was a joke. It was clearly a joke that was funny. Stop getting into a hissy fit because of something that Claudia Winkleman said. It was a funny one-liner joke. And at this point, it should be said that everyone who gets voted off absolutely deserves it. And here's why. Number one, no one is using their brain. They are only voting for people blatantly that they don't like. I said this earlier. They deliberately picked people who are more emotionally sensitive. That's why it makes for good TV, and I admit it, it makes for good TV. I was thoroughly entertained. But it also makes for a terrible detective to find traitors. Number two, a lot of these people do this thing where they either interrupt another person when they talk, or they finish what they're saying and then act like someone has just interrupted them. Like, shut up! With contestants this dumb, it does raise one question. Is this show fake? And my answer to this is... there is evidence to suggest that enhanced editing has been performed in order to sell the show in a more dramatic fashion, but I do not believe that the show is 100% scripted. How's that for beating around the bush? Listen, whatever you see on TV, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. There's obviously going to be some stuff that's scripted, and they're always going to make the traitors look more bait than they actually are. But if you can look past that, Traitors is a very good show, which is incredibly entertaining. And to be honest, it triggers most people, so it must be pretty good. Final rating, I don't even know, out of 12 hours. And yeah, that's me completely winging this review. Thank you for watching.